You cannot escape from it. Nothing can make me kill myself. You don't know what it is like to be at your lowest, where you feel like there is no other way out. What's up, Streetside College? Yeah man, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to talk about a very serious issue that is facing our community as Jamaicans and as black people as a whole, and that is the issue of mental health or mental illness. And it's a very serious issue that needs some highlight, and I figure that I'm going to talk about it today. And I hope you find the conversation very interesting, and maybe investigate how you can help with this issue. But it's a big issue, and I don't think it's been talked about enough, so I'm talking about it today on Streetside College. So I personally know people who suffer from mental health. Not mental health. I personally know people who suffer from mental illness. There are people that I grew up with, I interacted with when I was growing up, and they were okay. When I knew them, they were okay. They had no issues, and over time they start showing signs of mental illness, and it can be it is a various reasons why this happened to people. Various reasons, and we can go through them. And I know that if you're watching this, you too probably know somebody who suffer from it and has been through it or is still going through it, and I'm sure you can attest to it that it's a very hard situation, to see somebody who had all their faculties, and then see them walking around looking for food on the roadside or in the garbage can. And not everybody reach to that stage of there are different types of mental illness. There are different stages of it. Some people become very depressed. Some people, as I said, you see them on the street, they walk it up and down, them clothes dirty, them don't comb them hair, them don't bathe, them don't brush them teeth. And then you have others who they are clean, they do everything that they're supposed to do in terms of hygiene, but they're really not 100 upstairs. Their behavior is off, and sometimes it's because, as I said, there's different categories and different types of mental illness, so people fall in different categories. So not everybody suffer from the same thing, and even people who don't suffer from mental health, I keep saying mental health, people who don't suffer from mental illness, some of them don't even understand what it is to be mentally ill. They don't know what it is, and they behave quite nonchalant to the idea of it, and it's really sad. But I want to draw some awareness to it. And what is mental health? Mental health is actually your overall well-being of your mind, the overall well-being of your mind, how well your mind is working. Because if your mind is not working well, like, something off, that means you're mentally ill. And it means you're mad, but there is something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? If your mind is working at its optimal now, you're fine. You don't need to worry. But there are still people out there that is suffering. And mental illness, as I said, is really when the way how you think and the way how you feel and the way how you behave is affected by some factor or the other. It's just affected by some, and it have Sometimes it have a lot to do with emotions, different stuff. But I am not an expert at these things, you know. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist. You know, I'm just talking from my own experience with it and being around people that suffer from it and stuff like that. And also I listen to other people that have the authority to speak about it, and I observe what they're saying about it, do my own research and stuff like that. But I'm not an expert at it, but that doesn't negate me from bringing voice to it, you know, because it's something that we really need to be talking about. Yeah, and as I said before, there are a number of different types of mental illness, or as you say, mental disorder. And I'm just gonna mention a few. There's anxiety. Anxiety is one of them. There's depression, you know. There is PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. Bipolarness, you know, bipolar. There is schizophrenia, and there's also psychosis, and there are others. I don't know them off the top of my head now, but you can go and research them, you know, if you really want to know the different types of mental disorders that people suffer from. So what's the real problem though? The reality is that there's a lot of people experiencing hurt, you know, a lot of people experiencing hurt, and it can stem from various reasons. Some of them were abused in some shape or form when they were growing up as kids or even as adults, you know. Different relationships are abusive, like, you know, family members being abusive, parents being abusive, you know, your partner, your spouse being abusive to you, and that sometimes those things can take a toll on people and they suffer mentally, so it compromises their mental health and their mental well-being, and that's when they start slipping into mental illness, and sometimes it gets really, really serious, you know. And people who are abused and they are hurt, sometimes they retain that hurt within themselves and then them transfer it to somebody else, you know. So sometimes they become a bully. Sometimes they resort to child abuse when they have their own children, stuff like that, because it's a retention of what they experienced. You get what I'm saying? And what it really boils down to is that hurt people, you know. If you are hurt, you will hurt people. If you were hurt, so hurt people, you know. And I think we need to think about that as people, as Jamaicans, as black people, and put some thought to it, you know, and see how you as an individual can help out the situation or make a difference. You may have a family member, you may have somebody that is close to you that is experiencing some kind of mental breakdown or something like that, you know. Try to help them out, try to get them some help, you know. And as I said, hurt people, so the cycle continues, you know. One person hurt the next person, that person hurt another person, and you know, is a whole domino effect, and it goes like that, you know. So think about that and think about how you can help. One of the first way you can help is by start talking about it, you know, like how I am doing now. You know, you start talking about it and stuff like that. The reality is that it's not talked about enough. Enough people are not talking about this issue. And there's a lot of people in our country, on our street, that is suffering from mental health. You might see them on the road, them walking up and down dirty, you know. Them don't trim them hair for much years and look like Rasta. For them and a Rasta, them not really take care of themselves. Some of them come from somewhere and like them just homeless, so. But sometimes them people, them family, them don't even know what to do, so them just leave them and them just walk roam the street and eat out of the garbage can and something like that. So sometimes all them need is somebody to put out the interest to help them, you know. Somebody put out the interest to help them. And it's very important because normally people who going through stuff like this, people who are abused, people who suffer from mental illness, they don't really talk to nobody. They don't really talk to nobody about it. Even some of them don't even have the faculties to even engage a conversation, but others do, and they don't talk to anybody about it. They just keep it to themselves and they suffer through it. You know, and it's really, really sad, you know. And the next way you can help this situation or help somebody, if you know somebody who is suffering from it, you know, you can give a listening ear. You know, it's as simple as that. You may never know, you know, somebody might be on the brink of suicide and you don't know it, and just because you stop to listen to what them have to say and probably give them two advice, them change their mind. You know, you may never know. You don't ridicule them, you know. Just give a listening ear and be kind. Be kind to people who you suspect. You should be kind to people in general, you know, but especially if you suspect that somebody is not functioning the way that they should be functioning. Something is wrong, so you should be kind to them. Give them a listening ear, you know, help them out, you know, be mindful of them feelings, you know. It's very important, you know. And another thing, to don't judge people and call them. Don't bother with the name calling. Don't, you know, you see somebody acting a certain way, don't call them crazy or call them mad, you know. That might just worsen the situation. Just make it worse. And yeah, man, just offer to give them help. Offer to find them help if they need professional help. Them need a psychiatrist to talk to somebody. You know, if you talk to them and it's not enough, you know, figure out a way where you can help them, get them some more help, you know, and it is, and I can't stress that enough. It's very important that we as people start thinking about these things and see where we can play a part in making it better, you know. And a lot of people out there, you know, I probably have said it in the past, not knowing the gravity of what this thing is, and there are still people out there, you know, people have said there's nothing can make me kill myself, but in reality, you really don't know. You have never been that low, you know. You don't know what it is like to be at your lowest, where you feel like there is no other way out, and there is something just inside your brain just playing over and over. You can't get no sleep. You cannot escape from it, you know. And I'm not trying to justify suicide or anything like that, but you can't downplay it either. You can't downplay it either. Can't be trivial about it. It's a real thing. There are people that are hurt and they will hurt people or they will hurt themselves, you know. So it's a really important thing, and I can't stress it enough. So if I didn't think it was important, I wouldn't come on here and talk about it. And so my advice to anyone that is watching this, you know, who might have suffered or is still suffering from mental illness, you know, talk to somebody about it. Don't give in to the stigma that is attached to it, because there are a lot of cruel people out there that bring this stigma to this thing, and you know, as an individual, you don't want anybody to think that you're crazy or that you're getting mad or getting off your head, so you keep it to yourself, you know. Talk to somebody if you're experiencing depression or anxiety, you know, insomnia, you can't sleep at night, you have experienced something traumatic and you can't get it out of your head, you know, you were abused and you can't handle it. Just talk to somebody, talk to anybody that will listen, talk to somebody that is close to you, that you trust, that will listen, you know. And maybe that person can help you to get some professional help. So just remember that. Yeah, so that is what I have to say about the topic. And if you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section. Let us have a conversation. Let us talk about it. You know, it's a very serious issue that needs to be addressed. So just leave your comments in the section below. Like this video if you like it. Share it with a friend. Share it with somebody that you think wants to hear this message. And subscribe to this channel. It really encourages me, and it shows me that people is watching and listening, and it encourages me to do more videos. So please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. One love. Blessed.